All right, good afternoon. First and foremost, any questions pertaining to Mr. Hezekiah Bernard while he was under the care of DHS should be referred to DHS. I will only be speaking about the homicide investigation that is ongoing. So now I'm going to give you some details. On August 22nd, while on the 5500 block of Cherry Street at approximately 8 a.m., a housing authority sanitation worker removed a plastic trash container and placed that container inside a PHA sanitation truck. The sanitation truck container was driven to PHA facility located at 5000 block of Haverford Avenue, where it was housed overnight. On August the 23rd, that same PHA employee drove the sanitation truck with the container back to the 5500 block of Cherry Street to gather more trash. During the drive, the container overturned and the remains of a male were observed inside that container with a plastic wrapped around the head with a comforter over him. Police and medical personnel were contacted and arrived on scene and officially pronounced the male dead. On August 24th, an autopsy was conducted by personnel from the medical examiner's office, and it was discovered that the decedent suffered from a gunshot wound to the right side of the head. The decedent at the time was wearing a white shirt, black shorts, white socks, and black and white sneakers. Several attempts were made to identify the decedent by the Philadelphia Department of Records and Identification Unit, along with the medical examiner's office. That yielded negative results. On August the 29th, homicide detectives distributed flyers in the area where the decedent was found. Those flyers depicted what the decedent was wearing at the time. On August 29th at approximately 4 p.m., family members of the decedent were made aware of the information that was distributed by homicide detectives. Then contacted the medical examiner's office. The decedent, through photographs which were provided by the medical examiner's office, was emailed to the family members. And the members identified the decedent once again as Mr. Hezekiah Bernard, a 12-year-old black male. The estimated time of death of Mr. Bernard was between the hours of 24 and 36 hours, prior to being discovered on August the 23rd. We need the help of the public to identify the offenders in this investigation. Again, Mr. Bernard was 12 years old. He was brutally killed and placed in a trash can. The focus of this investigation is the swift apprehension of those involved in this senseless death. Have any questions?
How many cents was he shot near the place where his body was disposed of?
Right now, we don't know where he was shot at. All we know is where we discovered the body.
You said he had been dead for 24 to 36 hours before his remains were discovered.
That is correct. That's based on the medical examiner.
Was he reported missing for any time before that he was killed, or before his body was found?
Well, that's part of the investigation, which is obviously ongoing.
Inspector, is he from that neighborhood in West Philadelphia?
From the information I gather, that's going to be unknown at this. I have to say it's an investigation still ongoing.
And you have spoken to his biological family,
The investigators have.
and that he was not in the care of his biological family at the time?
That I cannot discuss. Again, those kind of questions should be directed to DHS.
I think what really strikes everyone that we talk to in the neighborhood, everyone that's heard about it, even when we're walking over to this press conference, is the brutality and the age of the poor victim. What does that do for your detectives, your investigators, and how does that motivate and drive you to find out what's happening?
Well, we still do our investigations as we normally do with any unfortunate homicide, but it hits close to home because most of us have children. And you hate to say internalize it, but we understand and we feel like there's some sense of justice that need to be served, and we push hard to find these individuals involved in this killing.
Inspector, what if you can, with the case where it stands right now, is there any video that has come into discovery that helps you track this young man's movements in and around the neighborhood? What kind of things might you have that, even if the department might be putting that out at some point, anything that we can sort of ascertain where the investigation is?
Well, what I can say is this: we're constantly doing this investigation. It's still ongoing. Any video that we have that we can put out there, we'll definitely send it to public affairs, and it will be distributed to you.
His movement show anything on?
No, we have none of that stuff.
Is there anything you can share about what you believe or what you've gathered about prior to the discovery of his body in the dumpster, about his life or anything in the days?
There's nothing I can disclose in terms of his life because we really don't know much about his life. What we do know is we found a young man in a trash container, and our job now is to investigate thoroughly and find out what exactly happened.
And I'm sorry, could you just run through? You said the dumpster was taken by someone, like a trash collector, and then was taken back to the facility, and that's when it was discovered, the remains?
So what happens with DHS, from my understanding, they collect the trash at that particular facility. They take it to their facility at 5,000 block of Haverford. Now, they go back to fill it up with more trash. At the time during the transportation back to that location, the trash container flipped over, and then that's when they discovered the remains and immediately notified the police.
Again, the condition of the remains was a plastic bag or?
It was a plastic type of wrap around his head.
But he was shot a single time in the head.
That's what we got from the medical examiners.